Hey, Colabcoaching yet again to share some wise words of wisdom for the week. Brand new week. So excited to get into this week. Now we're going to talk about the mistakes people make when it comes to discovering their passions. Now, last week we talked about passions, rediscovering your passions, and why is it important and things of that nature. But now we're going to talk about the mistakes. Now, I'm not going to talk too much because there's a lot of mistakes, but I just wanted to highlight a couple things. First and foremost, remember, your rediscovering of your passions is your decision, and it depends on you. A lot of times we tend to tell people that we're going to do stuff, not to say that it's a bad thing, because sometimes we are excited. We get excited. We tell people what exactly we want to do, and we think the reception is going to be great. Sadly, 9 to 7. I'm gonna go 9 to 7. Nine is high, 7 is low, but 9 to 7 of the time, it doesn't work that way. The 7 is that people may be very excited for you, but they won't really be as receptive. 9 times out of 10, people are just not gonna get it, and that's okay because it's not for them to get. The beautiful thing about having the ability to rediscover your passions is that it's your journey. It's you and it depends on you and it's focused and centered around you. So if you have people around you, significant others, your loved ones, family members, co-workers, friends, and they just don't get it, that's okay. That is okay. But that's one of the things people make mistakes on, is that they feel that if their family members or significant others do not understand their passions, then that means it's not worth it. Here to say that's not true. Second mistake people make is that they think that the passions are not going to take that much effort. This is my second time around. This means that I have an easier pathway now. Not necessarily. Things change. People change. Lifestyles change. Aspects change. Like, for example, the example I gave last week is, becoming a chef. The culinary world changes all the time. From pre-pandemic, people were not taking out orders as much as they do now. Uber Eats was non-existent, or it was barely there. Now Uber Eats and DoorDash and Postmates and whatever it may be, they are one of the primary sources of getting food these days. Look at Instacart. Look at all these different things. Look at delivery systems of food. So if I wanted to step into the culinary world, I gotta realize that a big component of me having a restaurant is that I have to understand the times. Just like any passion that you have, maybe building a business, maybe doing real estate, maybe even a passion of having growing a family. There are different things now than they were back then when you first initially started your passion. So you have to realize that the effort might be more rather than less. Prepare for that. Prepare for that and be ready for that. Another mistake people tend to make is that they think that once things get tough, then they should just give up. It's easy to give up on something once you feel like you have some adversity. Once you think that things are not moving in the right direction, well, I gave it a try. Well, I did my best. Well, this was it. This is a sign that I should just give up. I'm not here to tell you if it's a sign for you to give up. What I am here to tell you is that just because things get difficult doesn't mean you should give up. You have to reevaluate that with yourself. Is this worth it? If your passion is so strong that your setback is trying to stop that passion, your passion should overrule whatever setback that's coming along or has come along. Because if you are so passionate about something, if you just have the enthusiasm to do something, nothing should deter you, or nothing should deter you now from achieving what you need to achieve. Simple as that. Next mistake people make, I told you there's a lot of them. A next mistake people tend to make is that they confuse passions with interests and hobbies. Now, just because you are passionate about something does not mean it has to be a hobby or interest. Just because you have a hobby or interest does not mean that you are passionate about it. I can have a hobby of going fishing. Does it mean I'm passionate about fishing? No. It's relaxing. It's something I like to do in the pastime. It helps you decompress, things of that nature. But if you are just passionate about fishing and you want to make a career of fishing, people do that. That's very true. But you have to determine what exactly is a passion and what exactly is something that you just like doing. You like it's fun. Like it's something that you just enjoy, but it's not something you're gonna start a whole career over. You're not gonna give up what you have now to do that. Things of that nature. Maybe you want to do it on the side. Like me, for example, I do martial arts. Martial arts is an interest and a hobby of me. I have passions to achieve certain levels in martial arts. Yes, but it's not something that I'm passionate about to give up everything and do martial arts and do it full time. Not at all. It's great. It's a great discipline. It's an add on to my life, but it's not something that I'm completely going to give up on everything else or give up on something that's been holding me back to do that full time. Not at all. Not for me. That's the way you have to reevaluate and think of these things. One final thing that I want to emphasize with the highest degree is that passions are going to take work. I just want you to realize that passions are going to take work. So if you're rediscovering these passions, it's going to take work. I promise you, there's going to be a beautiful side on the other side of it, but it's going to take work. So if you really are this passionate about something, remember, put the effort into it because it's going to be fruitful. But if you know that this is not really a passion, this is just an interest, this is just a hobby, this is something that sounded cool when you first thought about it, and you're trying to rediscover it, and now you realize that you really are not okay with doing this, or you really don't want to do this, that's okay. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it. But remember, it is your decision to make. Don't let nobody else tell you that you need to stop being passionate about XYZ until you realize that XYZ is something that you are not passionate about. Simple as that. So, the mistakes people make when it comes to rediscovering their passions. Number one, they think that this passion is not going to take that much effort because you're doing it the second time around. Not true. It's going to take a lot of effort because you have to rediscover all the things about that passion, which when you initially started it, it was one way, but now in the present day is another way. Cooking, real estate, things of that nature, things change. Another thing is that you think that other people's decisions and feelings about your passions should supersede yours, and that's not necessarily true. You are the deciding factor when it comes to your passions and rediscovering your passions. You make the final decision. People can suggest things, but you are making the final decision on that passion or those passions. Another thing is that you have to determine if this is really a passion or is this an interest slash hobby. Passions are something that you're passionate about and you want to do throughout the circumstances and beyond just a hobby and a passion. I mean, a hobby and an interest, but a hobby and interest is just something that you do as a pastime on the side. Passionate things are things that you do with all your effort. Finally, remember, this is going to take work. Remember, this is going to take work. Remember, this is going to take work. Rediscover your passions if you really are into it and put that effort into it. Simple as that. If you are watching this, share this with anyone that needs to watch this because they're ready to rediscover their passions. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, sorry, my website, yourcolabcoach.com. Fill out the relationship checklist, and also sign up for that free 15-minute coaching session as well. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Don't forget to get my book, Your Fresh Eye Solve Problems Easier, the self-love relationship journey, and give me a review. Tell me what you think. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.